Okay, so I'm watching an old video of mine, a TikTok video, and I'm having like realizations. And it's really cool because I was wondering recently in another YouTube video, a YouTube tarot video, if I'm not mistaken. And I was wondering like when did I become my higher self? Because I do feel like my higher self now. Or I felt there was a moment where I integrated and became my higher self, but I couldn't remember when it was. And it was around the time that I made this video. It was March 3rd. I talk about it in the video. Um 3 3. And then I did the math. 2025 is a year of 9, right? And when you divide it, it's 2 3s, so it's 3 3 3 3. And it's just like really cool. And I'm gonna put the video, and then I'm gonna tell you the insight that I got. I'm still like I'm in the middle of watching the video. I just wanted to do this introduction. My dog wants the food that's behind the camera. Yeah, I'm making sure she doesn't get it. She's like begging me for it, but yeah, I'm gonna finish that food. I'm gonna finish watching the video, and then you're gonna see me again, and we're gonna do a reading, and I'm gonna tell you the insights that I'm getting from the video. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna record this again because, God, this Mercury retrograde has me stuttering and losing my train of thought so much today. But I need to get this message out. So, let's get into it. I have been feeling called to watch princess movies over the past week, I want to say. And the main two that I wanted to watch was Sleeping Beauty and Snow White. Snow White because, well, people call me Blancanieves, which means Snow White in Spanish. And Sleeping Beauty because, like, for a while, I just would keep hearing, wake up, wake up, wake up. And just recently I feel like I finally woke up. Like, just suddenly, like, everything started making sense, and, like, I even started seeing lights that I never noticed before, and I don't know, I've just seen so much that I've never noticed before that's been in my neighborhood. And so, yeah, I feel like I've woken up, and I just felt pulled to watch Sleeping Beauty. I also wrote a song called Prince Charming, so yeah, anyways. Um, so I watched Snow White first. I couldn't help but notice how similar the story was to my own story. Um, or what I think might be my story. And I think it's gonna resonate a lot with you because I think it just resonates with a lot of beautiful women, a lot of princesses of our generation, you know? It's to modern age, and I think the jealousy that people hold has been amplified because of social media. The jealousy and insecurity, because honestly jealousy comes from insecurity. So I want to talk about how the characters kind of relate to my story, and probably so many other girls' story. So let's start with Snow White. She's a beautiful girl, but she has an evil stepmother who is so jealous of her beauty that she ends up dressing her in rags and making her work as a maid. And every day she asks the mirror, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all?" And the mirror always says Snow White. And it infuriates the evil queen because she feels like she should be the most admired because she's the queen, or she thinks she's the queen. And eventually she ends up planning to get Snow White murdered. But the person that she sent to murder her ended up falling for Snow White's beauty and kindness and love. And so he ends up letting her go. And she ends up hiding away with the dwarves after that because she finds out the evil queen's plan. And eventually the evil queen gets to her and does make Snow White fall asleep. only to be awoken by true love's first kiss, right? So she ends up getting away thinking that she got away with it, but then she ends up falling off a cliff. It was interesting because as she, like, what made her fall off the cliff is, like, everything that she was, like, throwing out coming back to bite her in the ass, basically. And so, yeah, eventually Snow White ends up waking up by true love's first kiss because Snow White had people that adored her and loved her that were protecting her and making sure that the prince found the princess and woke her up, right? So that's Snow White. I just saw 444 on the timer. Going into Sleeping Beauty. So Maleficent ends up getting mad because she wasn't invited to the baby's, or the princess's ceremony. She arrives uninvited. So because she's so mad that she was left out, she ends up putting a curse on the baby and basically saying, like, when she turned 16, she was gonna prick her finger on a spindle and then she was gonna die. And her and Prince Philip were never gonna get married. Because that day at the ceremony, the baby was betrothed to Prince Philip, who was already like a couple years older. And so Maleficent disappears, and the fairy godmothers of Aurora end up taking her into hiding so that she never finds the spinning wheel and never gets cursed. But just in case things were going to happen anyways, they put counter spell that she would be able to be awakened by true love's first kiss. Eventually Maleficent did find Aurora because her evil minion found her. And before she was able to get to Aurora, Prince Philip found her first, and they had an encounter. And they just knew that they were meant for each other from this encounter because they dreamt of each other since they were kids. And so they just knew they were destined to be together. Only in this one encounter. And they separate, and it's when they separate and they start to tell people, I'm in love, like this is the one for me, that's when people started adding their own opinions and saying, no, that's not the one for you because there's somebody else betrothed to you, and if you give in to this peasant girl, like you're gonna miss out on the princess. And they didn't realize that the peasant girl was the princess the whole time. She was just being hidden. She was just being cloaked. And I resonated so much with that because my whole life I have felt overlooked, especially by the people who I love the most. And it broke my heart. But as I've grown up, I've realized that it was always protecting me, that they couldn't see my light. And it allowed me to, like, basically generate more and more and more of it. Up to this point of awakening. Oh, and that also, like, shows how it's so important not to tell everybody your business when they don't need to know. Especially when it's just the beginning, because they will add their own, like, opinions or negative opinions, and it does affect the relationship. And for something as sacred as you know, being destined to find each other, it just makes it harder and harder because there are negative forces that want to keep these people away because they could do powerful things together. They could make change together. Anyways, again, back to the story. After being found, Maleficent ends up going to Sleeping Beauty and ends up successfully putting the curse on her, and she falls asleep. And she ends up capturing Philip and putting him in chains and surrounding him by all her little minions, making sure that he couldn't get to her. And the Maleficent would constantly mock him and, like, say, oh, you thought you were going to get your happy ending with the princess. Well, no, because this isn't that. True love isn't real. And he got angry listening to Maleficent, but he was still stuck in chains. And so eventually the fairy godmothers end up sneaking into the castle and helping Philip out of his chains and helping him out of the castle and away from the away from the minions. And Maleficent found out they were trying to escape, and she threw everything at him. Boom, 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 all these obstacles, and then this woods made out of thorn bush, and he ends up swiping at them with the sword of truth that the fairy godmothers gave him. He ends up getting to the castle, and then right then he is the final boss. Maleficent turns into a dragon. The whole time she was a evil dragon, and she's trying so hard to kill him, but he just keeps finding a way to maneuver. And just when she thinks that he has him, he takes a step away from the edge and ends up killing her. And he finally gets to Sleeping Beauty, and he finally kisses her, and she opens her eyes and smiles, because she always knew that he was going to come for her. And I forgot to mention that the fairy godmothers had put a spell on the whole kingdom to make sure that they didn't realize that Sleeping Beauty had been asleep or had been put under the curse, because they didn't want their hearts to be broken. And so they put it so that they would awaken when Sleeping Beauty or Aurora would awake. And they all woke up at the same time that Aurora did. And they were surprised to just see Prince Philip and Aurora walk through the doors ready to get married, and they just had to go with the motions, because they're like, whoa, this is happening so fast, like I can't even say no, because like you're an adult, and like this is what I've always wanted for you. Actually, I just didn't know that the peasant girl was actually Princess Aurora. And like, okay, yeah. And then just go with emotions. And they started to soften up by seeing Prince Philip's and Aurora's love for each other. 12:34 on the clock. And then finally, like, they get to dance, they get married and they get to dance together. And I even resonated with the whole, like, pink-blue dress feud that the fairy godmothers had, because I've always said that I'm usually blue, but I turn red. And in this case, it was pink. And it's true, because I never go red, because I'm just so full of love that even when I'm angry, it's, like, from a place of love and passion. And so I understand why it would be pink. And I really resonated with the fact that the fairy godmothers called Aurora Rose. I have been seeing roses for a long time as a sign, because my great-grandmother, her favorite flowers were red roses. And I've always been attracted to them, but I haven't gotten flowers many times in my life. Except, like, I don't know, God just always blesses me with them at the right moment. But it's just not something I'm used to. And I feel like a flower. So yeah, I resonated with that as well. And I just thought it was so interesting how once Aurora woke up, everybody else woke up too. To the fact that she was the princess the whole time. She was just hiding. And yeah, so the message that I want to give is, like, once you come into union, because you will, like, I know how many times you've doubted because everybody tells you it's never gonna happen or it's been too long, but no matter how hard the negative forces will try to keep you guys away, eventually you will become stronger because of it and overcome those obstacles and finally get to express the love that you've had for each other the whole time. And people won't understand at first and they'll be confused, but once they see the love that's between the both of you, they will understand that this is the person that this is the person that God had for you, or they've always wanted for you. they just had to see it for themselves, or they had to recognize Aurora, like, the princess. They had to recognize you first, and you had to reveal yourself first. You had to get to know yourself and come into your power first to be able to show them who you really are on the inside. And yes, like, being a beautiful, kind-hearted woman is going to bring you a lot of, I'm hearing hypocrisy, and a lot of jealousy, and you are just going to trigger the demons in other people. But don't let that get you down, because it's only making you stronger and teaching them a lesson. And what is destined for you will find its way to you. It will find its way to you. Like, you have so many angels and ancestors and God working in your favor. Just trust the process. Trust, I'm hearing the dreams. Trust the dreams. The dreams will show you what is the truth. Who has always been there? Who has always been able to reach your heart? Who do you always think about? That is the person that is for you. You guys just weren't ready for each other, or when you were ready for each other, you started being sidetracked by other people's opinions, and you started to doubt what you already knew to be true. And so yeah, you turned away from each other. But one thing about Prince Philip is he always knew that that was the one, and eventually he was able to stand up to his father and say, no, I'm going to marry this girl. I don't care what you say. I don't care who I'm betrothed to. I'm going to marry this girl because this is who I love. Right? Eventually, the man or the masculine for you is going to do that. Is going to gain the courage to finally take his sword of truth and speak it. and when that day comes, you are going to smile. And you are going to feel like you could finally rest. You could finally be at peace, the both of you. Because you're not searching for each other anymore. You have each other. And now you could finally live out your lives together, have your family, and rule the kingdom. You're gonna get your happy ending. If you're the feminine watching this, you just have to be patient and focus on yourself and be aware and don't fall into any traps. And in the meantime, allow your masculine to be able to work on themselves as well and build the courage and become the man for you that you've always dreamt of. And if you're the masculine watching this, then the guidance is speak your truth. I'm hearing the truth will set you free. If you feel like you've been chained, speak your truth. Let it out. I saw a video today and it was saying how there was a curse put on the masculines, or put on both parties, I think. It said that there was a curse put on your throat chakras. So you guys have not been able to express yourself the way your heart desires to, because something gets in the way, whether it be in the physical plane or the spiritual. Also, earlier there was accordions playing in the background, so maybe that might be a sign for you. I guess mood music. But yeah, have faith. You are the princess, and you already know who your Prince Charming is. So, again, don't fall into any traps. And Prince Charming, don't listen to outside opinions, because you know in your heart what the truth is. And I'm gonna leave you off with singing the song from Sleeping Beauty because I've been hearing it in my head. I know you, I walked with you once upon a dream. I know you, that look in your eyes, so familiar a gleam, that I know it's true, the visions are seldom while they sing. I don't remember, but I'm feeling called to sing the Snow White song too, so one sec. Okay, so I haven't found the one I was thinking of, but I wanted to read the lyrics of this one from Snow White. It's called Someday My Prince Will Come. So she says, someday my prince will come, someday we'll meet again, and away to his castle we'll go, to be happy forever, I know. Someday when spring is here, we'll find our love anew, and the birds will sing, and wedding bells will ring, someday when my dreams come true. So I think you are going to meet your Prince Charming in the spring. I really, really think so. Also, when I paused it, my grandpa came out of his room and he mentioned my grandma Blanca, who passed away, that I was mentioning earlier. So it felt like confirmation. She was the one that, well, he would give her roses, and that's why she loved them so much. Okay, let me look for the song I was actually thinking about. Okay, ready? I'm wishing for the one I love to find me today, today. I'm hoping, and I'm dreaming of the nice things he'll say. I sang that wrong, but yeah. And then I'm wishing for the one I love to find me today. And then the prince sings today. And he's like, now that I have found you, hear what I have to say. I don't know how this part goes, but he says, one song, I have but one song only for you. One heart tenderly beating, ever entreating, constant and true. One love that has possessed me, one love thrilling me through. One song my heart keeps singing, of one love only for you. So sweet. I'm gonna leave you with that. You are the only one for him. Remember that. No matter what he does, even though it doesn't look like it, he is doing it for you. Your job is to know that you are loved and love on yourself until he's ready to take you to his castle and give you the life that you've always deserved. Okay. Thank you for watching. I love you. God loves you. And you are about to experience so many miracles in this spring. Bye! Okay, so I just finished watching the video, and it's super, super interesting. I got like so many downloads as I was watching it, and that's because this isn't like my first time re-watching it, but this is the first time I'm getting all these insights. Where do we even start? Okay, well, to start off, at the end of the video, it says, what, did it say like there's gonna be a lot of blessings in the spring or a lot of good things in the spring? I don't remember, but a lot of blessings in the springtime. It's still technically winter. Ooh, I feel like by March, if you're watching this, by March, I'm hearing it's gonna be a dream come true. March is gonna be a dream come true. I like that. Okay, so I started there. So the first thing that I was thinking when watching the video is how I always would refer to myself as a princess, or at least at this around this time, at least for like the year of 2025. I was a princess, or yeah, I am still a princess. Like, my name is Blanca, like Blanca Nieves, like it says in the video. I am still waiting for my Prince Charming, and but I'm not a damsel in distress anymore. And I was thinking, I was like, I'm not a princess. What am I? And then I was like, I'm a samurai. I'm a samurai. And so then I decided to look into the samurai. And the reason why that came to mind also is because I've been seeing so much symbology. Actually, I've always been attracted to Asian, like, the Asian culture, honestly. So any pictures with, like, Asian art, amazing. I love it. I feel like I had multiple lives in Asia, in different places. I think I loved it so much. And, in one of those lives, I was a samurai. And I realized that as I like searched it, like I had a settling. Like something clicked for me. And it's so interesting. Like, cuz I've gotten like it's always so surprising when I get glimpses of my past lives, cuz it's always so unexpected and they're so spaced out from each other. But I'm pretty sure I was a samurai in a past life. Maybe a samurai princess. If the I'm gonna look that up. Let's see if anything comes up, and then I'll read to you what a samurai is. Samurai princess. There's a movie called Samurai Princess that I very badly need to see. Look. This looks like a porno. That's funny. Is it a porno? No, it's not. Okay, that's not what I was intending. Okay. Were there any samurai princess? Let's see. I'm trying to see if this girl is a princess or not. This is interesting. Okay. Even if she wasn't a princess. Okay, let me read to you. So her name is Tamao Gozen. Was an Onamusha, a female samurai mentioned in the tale of the Heike. There is doubt as to whether she existed, as she does not appear in any primary accounts of the Genpei War. Genpei War. She supposedly served under the samurai lord Minamoto no Yushi. Oh my gosh, I want to say it right. Minamoto no Yushinaka during the Battle of Owatsu, part of the Genpei War in the. Okay. Anyways, I was like practicing like saying it. I should learn Japanese. Man, am I gonna change my dream from Thailand to Japan just because of this? I am really attracted to cherry blossoms. And if I'm not mistaken, that's like a Japanese thing mostly. There are cherry blossoms in Thailand, but it's like they're not known for that. So her occupation was a Buddhist nun after the Battle of Owatsu. She commanded 300 samurai against 2,000 warriors of the rival Taira clan during the war. After defeating the Taira in 1182 and driving them into the western provinces, Yushinaka took Kyoto and desired to be the leader of the Minamoto clan. Okay, anyways. This is so crazy. I really, really resonated with that. Like, I would command 300 samurai against 2,000 warriors and win. That's so cool. Look, this is her. Oh dear. Oh my gosh. So in the video, you know how on the side, wait, let me see. You know how on the side it had like signs, like it's one was like dragon and one was sword of truth and roses, right? If I'm not mistaken, on that one it says white horse. Look. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. Was she me? I really I really feel connected to this. Tamagos. How do you say her name? That Tamogotsen. Tamogotsen. How do you say her name? Tamogotsen. I know that's not the way to say it. Oh, I wanted to check something. Hold on, I'm getting so many like downloads. What's the tale of the Heike? It's an epic account compiled prior to the 1330 of the struggle between the Taira clan and Minamoto clan for control of Japan at the end of the 12th century. It has been translated into English at least 5 times. The first translation was by Arthur Lindsay Sadler in 1918 to 1921. It is 800 pages. Okay, but what's it about? Origin and themes. The story of the Heike was compiled from a collection of oral stories recited by traveling monks who chanted to the accompaniment of the biwa, an instrumental reminiscent of the lute. Interesting. Heike is considered one of the greatest classics of medieval Japanese literature. 2 main strands feed into the central ethos of the tale: samurai and Buddhist. At one level, the tale is an account of martial heroism, of courage, cruelty, power, glory, sacrifice, and sorrow. Okay. As I was reading that, I wanted to cry. And I had a memory. So I've had this thought for a while, and the mushrooms made me like realize it. But I think I have such a reverence for life because in a lot of past lives I've had to take it. I was responsible for a lot of deaths, in whatever way, whether it was commanding 300 samurai or if it was like, you know, all by my own hand. But yeah, so like that's why I have such a reverence for life. And it's so interesting, if I was this woman, it just makes a lot of sense. And it's really nice to know that it was like, it was honorable. Yeah, okay. Let me read that part again. At one level, the tale is an account of martial heroism, of courage, cruelty, power, glory, sacrifice, and sorrow. Those who emphasize this aspect of the story point to its glorification of the heroic spirit, its avoidance of the realistic brutality and squalor of war, and its aestheticization of death. A classic instance of the latter is the comparison of the drowned samurai in the final battle to a maple leaf brocade upon the waves. So it's just like all the bodies. Is that what it's meaning? Others, while still accepting the importance of the military episodes and of heroic figures, like Yoshitsune. I want to look into who that is. Heroic figures like Yoshitsune would emphasize instead the tale's immersion in Buddhist thought and its themes of duty, dharma, and fate. Announced at the very beginning is the Buddhist law of transience and impermanence, specifically in the form of the fleeting nature of fortune, an analog of sic transit gloria mundi. Sic transit gloria mundi. I literally took two Latin classes when I was in high school. I should be able to say this. An analog of sic an analog of Sic transit gloria mundi. The theme of impermanence is captured in the famous opening passage. The sound of the Jion Shoja bells echoes the impermanence of all things. The color of the Sala flowers reveals the truth that the prosperous must decline. The proud do not endure. They are like a dream on a spring night. The mighty fall at last. They are as dust before the wind. The four-character expression, the prosperous must decline, is a phrase from the Humane King Sutra in full. The prosperous inevitably decline, the fool inevitably empty. The second religious concept evident in the tale of the Heike is another Buddhist idea, karma. The concept of karma says that every action has consequences that become apparent later in life. Thus, karma helps to deal with the problem of both moral and natural evil. Oh, that's interesting. So it's still evil, but moral or natural evil? That's interesting. Okay. Thus, karma helps to deal with the problem of both moral and natural evil. Evil acts in life will bring about an inevitable suffering later in life. This can be seen clearly with the treatment of Kiyomori in the tale of the Heike, who is cruel throughout his life and later falls into a painful illness that kills him. Okay, anyways, this is super interesting. And I think I'm going to read this, the tale of the Heike. And it's oh my gosh, I realized something else. So there's this show that is really important to me and is like, it's a big part of who I am now. It's what got me addicted to the ideas of superpowers and making them possible, and then it ended up leading me into realizing that we already have superpowers and it's like all up here. And so anyways, the show is called Heroes, and there's a main character. His name is Hiro Nakamura. Oh my gosh, I want to say it. Hiro Nakamura. Hiro Nakamura. And he, what was his name? There was this samurai warrior that he always admired growing up, because his father would tell him stories of this samurai. And what ended up happening, because Hiro has the power to time travel. So what ended up happening is he accidentally time traveled to that time period. And it ended up turning out that he was the one, like, that accomplished all these things. Like, he's the one that won the battles and, like, because time is not linear, right? So, like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it, but the person that he was admiring was always him. He was that past person, and that's kind of how I'm, like, seeing it right now. Or how I see a lot of these things. Like Mary Magdalene, for example. How much, like, I admire her and resonate with her and her story. But it feels a little bit more than, like, resonating. And yeah, so it's just, like, really cool because I really, really resonate with this show. I really resonate with that character. And then now I'm kind of experiencing the same thing where I think I was this samurai from in a past life. I really, really think so. What was her name? Let me see how to say her name. Tomogotsun.
Tomo Gozen.
Fuck you for that. I wanted to hear. Wait. Oh my gosh! There's a whole little.
So the legend of Tomoe Gozen has to be one of the most interesting
Oh,
stories.
it is how you say her
in
name.
history.
Sorry.
And that's because
I'm
she's
sorry.
seen as one of the most feared warriors in 12th century Japan.
Let's listen.
From a young age, she was highly trained in combat and archery. She could do anything the guys could do, including using katana, something that typically only the men used. Then came
Wait. Hold on a
then
second.
came the Genpai War of Tomoe Gozen has to be one of the most interesting stories in Japanese history. And that's because she's seen as one of the most feared warriors in 12th century Japan. From a young age, she was highly trained in combat and archery. She could do anything the guys could do, including using a katana, something that typically only the men used. Then came the Genpei War. Serving under Lord Yoshinaka, she was now in charge of a few hundred soldiers. But maybe nothing showed her legend more than when she took on 6,000 soldiers and won.
Setting up turret.
As time went on, the war wasn't going the way they hoped. They were going to lose. So Lord Yoshinaka dismissed Tomoe from service. She left, but not before going out one last time to kill more samurai, including this guy, Uchenda Ayoshi, who will forever be immortalized for being killed by Tomoe. No one really knows what happened to Tomoe after that. Some say she became a nun, others say she died in battle, but the legend of Tomoe Gozen will live
Oh, I
forever.
took a screenshot. No, stop. Wait. An archer of rare strength, a powerful warrior, and on foot or on horseback, a swordsman, to face any demon or god. She was a fighter to stand alone against 1,000. That's me, guys. That's me. That's so cool. I'm glad I found that video. And it was so short too. It was like it was meant for this. This is all aligned. So aligned. Ooh, there's another video. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm gonna add it to watch later.
Build an app with your name on it. Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
What does it say? Forgotten History Channel. I love history so much, but it doesn't like it hardly retains. But if I know I'm reading about myself, I feel like my brain like will be honed in on the history I'm learning. So I think I'm gonna do some research on this. But I was doing something in particular. Oh. Look at this, the art that this person did. That's badass. That's cool. This one too. And it's in Spanish. The person who made it, it says La Primera Samurai. The first samurai. I'm gonna save that picture too. That's me. And you know, I just changed my my iPad wallpaper to like an Ed Hardy thing, and it has like a Japanese dragon on it. I love Japanese dragons. I've been seeing Japanese dragons my whole life. My whole life. I see so much Asian like imagery everywhere since I was a little girl, and it's just like now clicking in my head now. Like my whole family, they worked at this this restaurant called Lotus. I worked at that restaurant. Like my grandma was the first person to open it. She didn't own it, but she like was the manager. She opened the first Lotus. Excuse me. And then my mom worked at Lotus. Her sister worked at Lotus. Her other sister worked at Lotus. Her brother worked at Lotus. My dad worked at Lotus. I worked at Lotus. So I've been seeing that for my whole life, and it's just like everything is making sense now. Okay, so like about that life. Oh, what? Okay, I kind of feel this. I feel like I had a romance during that time. Yes, this is like really resonating with me now. And I've talked about this in my last reincarnation video, where it's like once you get rolling, once you get the glimpse and you just let yourself speak about it, your soul remembers and is gonna be able to tell you the rest of the story. Like nobody knows what happened to Tamao after, right? Had I been saying it right the whole time? I don't remember. I need to look back, but yeah, so anyways, I think I was in love during that time. and I think I lost the love of my life. I think he was also a samurai. And I think we had to be secretive about the romance that we had. But yeah, he was like taken from me too early. I want to cry. And this is like it'll lead into like more insights about the video that I showed you guys earlier. But I feel like there's this one, like, I guess twin flame or soulmate, I don't know, whatever it is, but there's this like one person that that I've been connected to across lifetimes, who has been like taken from me across lifetimes. Like we never fully like get to live out our romance or live happily ever after. I always cry in these videos. And I think that's why in that life I vowed to never be with anybody again, and I became a Buddhist nun. That just like makes so much sense for me. So yeah, like it just goes so well with the video where it's like we're just like ripped apart from each other like over and over and over again, and it's up to like the prince or the samurai or like whatever it is, right? It's up to him to like find the princess or like me, and for us to like be together and like come into union. And yeah, so anyways, I'm trying to remember more insight that I had gotten, but I really like that I never read to you what it really like means to be a samurai, which I intended to. Female samurai known as onamusha or unabugaisha were women from Japan's warrior bushi class, trained to defend their homes and families, who sometimes fought in battles alongside men, mastering weapons like the niganata, polearm, and sword. While most samurai women focus on domestic duties, some became legendary warriors like Tamao Gotsen or Nakano Takeko. She looks dope as hell. Damn. She was the leader of a corps of female combatants who fought in the battle independently. Oh my gosh, I want to look into her also. Because she was born 1847. Tamao Gotsen. Why does it sound British? She was born, or it doesn't say when she was born, but she died 1247. So, what if I was both of them? I would think I was both of them. Because look at this statue. I like really resonate with this statue. I feel like I was a sculptor in a past life. Because it's always like really drawn me in, but because hobbies cost money, I haven't been able to give that a shot. But I think I'm going to be a natural. I think I'm really good with my hands. Okay, so she was a female warrior. Oh, Nakano Takeko. That sounds so Hispanic. She was a Japanese female warrior of the Aitsu domain who fought and died during the Boshin War. During the Battle of Aitsu, she fought with a Niginata and was the leader of an ad hoc corps of female combatants who fought in the battle independently. Takeko and other women stepped forward on the front line without permission. I would. Especially without permission, especially if they wouldn't let me. As the senior Aitsu retainers did not allow them to fight as an official part of the domain's army. This unit was later retroactively called the Joshitai, girls' army. Oh, interesting. Oh, so she kind of is a princess. That's interesting. Nakano Takeko was the firstborn daughter of Nakano Hanai, an official of Aitsu, and of Nakano Koko, daughter of Oinama Kinai, samurai in the service of Tora of the Ashikaga domain. I don't know which one. I don't know which one is is her father or her mother, but still, like one of her parents was an official of Aitsu, and her other parent was a samurai. She had a younger brother and sister. Blah, 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 okay. She was well educated and came from a powerful samurai family. Oh my gosh! From 1853 to 1863, she received training in martial arts in the literary arts on Chinese Confucian classics. Oh my gosh! Okay. So I really like Confucian teachings. I've read about them in this like Taoism book that I have. It's called the Answers to the Truth. And it's just interesting. She was adopted by her own teacher, who was also the famous instructor of Matsudaira Teru. Okay. She taught students younger than her, such as her sister, who also attended school. So she was a teacher also. So somebody tried to get her to marry his nephew, but since the nation was shaken by social unrest, she refused and reunited with her Edo family. It's interesting. After working with the adoptive father as instructor of martial arts during the 1860s, Nakano was in the region of Aitsu for the first time in February 1868. During those spring and summer months, she taught Niginata to women and children in Aitsiwakamutsu Castle, as well as capturing the voyeurs of the women's bathroom. That's interesting. Voyeurism is a theme in my life that I won't get into for this reading. I mean, for this video, but yeah, so she literally trained women in a castle. Like this is a samurai princess. The Civil War. Nakano participated in the Boshin War, the civil conflict between the supporters of the... Okay. The leader of the group, Nakano Takeko, she was 21 years old at the time. I would. I feel like my friends, because I feel like I feel connected to her story, right? But I was thinking like, wait, I feel like my friends were in this life, and I was wondering if this was one of my friends, but no, I think I was her. But it's like showing me the women that was in the army, or in the, what is it called? The Joshitai. And so it was Nakano, Takeko's mother and sister, Hirata Kochu, the famous female warrior Yamamoto Yaiko. Let me look at her. I feel like this was Kenna. I feel like this was Kenna or maybe Fiona. Nurse, former soldier. Okay, I'll look into it a little bit later. But I'm like reading these women. An unnamed woman who was Watashi's concubine. That one stood out to me, and like I saw that, and immediately I was like, Alexa. Like Alexa was the unnamed woman who was Watashi's concubine. Like, that's interesting. I don't remember what her name was in that life. But I feel like she was very close to me. And I think she liked being mysterious, and I think that's why not like her name isn't like super well known. So they fought independently as the officials of Aitsu. They weren't allowed to fight. Regiments designated Nakuno as the leader of the unit of the woman the day before her death. Oh, wow. On the morning 16th October 1868, Yanagi Bridge, they launched a charge against imperial troops from domain of Ogaki, commanded by a man named Shaguma, who were armed with rifles. When the imperial troops realized that their enemies were female warriors, their commanders gave orders not to shoot them. This gave Nakano warriors an opportunity to attack. They killed several of their enemies before the imperial troops opened fire. Nakano was wounded by a bullet to the chest. Rather than letting the enemy take possession of her head as a trophy, Nakano asked her sister Yoko to behead her in order to prevent her capture, as well as give her an honorable burial. Yuko agreed to her sister's request. She asked for the assistance of Yuno Yoshi Saburo, an Aitsu soldier, to help with the beheading. After the battle, Nakano's head was taken by her sister to the nearby Hokkai temple of her family, modern Aitsubange, in the prefecture of Fukushima, and buried with honor by the priests under a pine tree. Her weapon was donated to the temple. Wow. Wow. She was badass. Look at her. I don't know if this was her. But like, whoever they chose to represent her, she looks pretty cool. I was a samurai in 2 lives, I think. I'm pretty sure. That's so dope. I don't remember any more insight that I got from the video other than like all that's like going through my mind is just like, I'm not a normal princess. I'm a samurai princess. I'm capable of taking care of myself. I usually like to surpass the men. Like, men get real comfortable and like, I don't know. It's just like, I like to catch men off guard and do things better than they do. And so yeah, it just makes so much sense. For both lives, it makes so much sense. But yeah, that's like so cool. I like this realization that I had. I see why I had to watch that video. And it was so by chance. Like, it was so by chance for me to watch that video. I just, like, decided, oh, I want to unpin this from my TikTok and put up a new pin. But I wanted to, like, I was like, wait, but I haven't watched this. Like, I pinned it for a reason. It was important for some reason. And then I looked at the side, like, the signs, the synchronicities. And they all resonated right now for, like, the imagery that I'm seeing everywhere right now. And yeah, and so that's like why we're doing, yeah, anyways, it just led to me doing this and having this realization. And then it's interesting because I talk about Sleeping Beauty, right? And how Prince Philip has to like slay the dragon in order to like wake up what's her face? Sleeping Beauty. And I don't know, I just keep seeing that imagery a lot everywhere too, like slaying the dragon. But then I also feel like I am the dragon and I cannot be slain. I cannot be slayed. And I breathe fire and I fly wherever I want. And then the Sword of Truth was also really stood out to me because I did a reading on TikTok and I pulled the Page of Swords for like the energy that I'm in right now. And it came out in another reading and the sword. And then I keep getting the Ace of Swords. For a while I would get the Two of Swords. I keep getting swords. And it's all about expression, intelligence, I think. Because it's air energy, so if I'm not mistaken, it's intelligence that it represents. And but yeah, the Sword of Truth, like expression, authentic expression is like what it stands for. And that's my greatest gift, is my authentic expression, my rawness, my realness. And it's so cool because both of these women wielded swords. And I literally have a sword. I have a sword, but it's like a medieval sword because I wanted to be different. Like I didn't want to get a katana like everybody else. And like at least none of the katanas that I saw that day, none of them were like drawing my attention. The medieval sword was drawing my attention. You want to see it? I'll show you. Okay, give me a moment. I'll be back. You stay, man. I'll be back. Okay, hold on. And when I hold it, it feels familiar. Wait, I want to give a good visual. I'm like trying to get the thumbnail. I don't know, how do they do it? Like when they like wipe off the blood. This is my sword. It has this like blue jewel. It's not really a jewel. I don't know what it is. And then it has like engravings and it's Robin Hood and his like, it says John Little, Friar Tuck, the monk. He looks like a monk. And then Robin Hood. That's cool. And then this is like like a moose or like a deer. But yeah, so this is the sword that I got. I do feel like I had medieval lives as well, several. So I also feel connected to this, but I've also always felt connected to the katana. Actually, I want to have a katana for the zombie apocalypse. Not that I'm trying to be like Michonne from The Walking Dead. I just like the idea. It's like the most efficient thing, no? Like, there's a whole bunch of zombies coming at you. Your gun runs out of ammo. It's okay. I have my katana. I'm like trying not to hit anything. My TV's like right here. That's funny. So I have this. Eventually, when I train with it, I want to get a whetstone and actually like sharpen it. But right, like it's literally like right now, I'd cut myself like pretty bad if I hadn't sharpened, and I wouldn't be able to practice. And it's a pretty heavy sword. I need to go back to the gym to be able to weld it. But yeah, this was like my plan for the apocalypse. I was like, I need a sword. But yeah, so ooh, I kind of like this. I'm not a princess, I'm a samurai. That's funny, I'm gonna title that. I really like how my body looks today. But yeah, okay. I think I'm gonna end the video. This was a fun video. This was super fun. I was a fucking samurai! Okay, alright. Bye. Love you. Watch out. I wanna cry again. I'm watching this video. I'll probably link it. But it talks about this guy, or the Lord, the person that ended up like making Yoshinaka like a leader of some of the samurai. Like he put her on the front lines. I forgot the exact term. So he ends up like being betrayed by his own family, and he ends up being left with 6 samurai, Tomogozen being one of them. And before they go into battle, his name is Minamoto no Yoshinaka. There was another term, but Kiso Yoshinaka. That's another term for him. So he ends up telling Tomo to go home, and nobody knows why he told her to. There's theories about it. So, some think that it was to tell his family of his death. I think it was to keep her safe, but she refused. And Kiso Yoshinaka died in battle. And Tomo stayed, but she couldn't save him. And in the video, he starts talking about, like, because after that battle, she disappears. After he dies, she disappears. And so that's when some people think she became a Buddhist nun. Other people think she got captured and forced to marry and become a concubine of some other person. And others say that she went on a killing spree, killing all of here, let's see what he says. I don't want to get it wrong.
By Wada Yoshimori and forced to enemies before walking into lives on. She is included in historical figures. We may never know exactly who Tomo Gozen was or what she did, but the stories of her courage means we'll never forget her either. And she definitely sounds like a woman I wouldn't want to mess with.
Did I fast
Ancient
forward?
historical figures. Jiraiya Matsuri, desecrated,
I did.
went on a revenge. Gozen was taken prisoner by Wada Yoshimori, eventually dying at the age of 90. According to the extended edition of the Heike Monogatari, Tomo Gozen was taken prisoner by Wada Yoshimori and forced to marry him or become his concubine. In yet another account, Tomo went on a revenge mission and killed all of Yoshinaka's enemies before walking into the sea holding his head so that no one could desecrate it. Whatever actually happened to her, the legend of her courageous and brutal deeds lives on. She is included in the parade of Jiraiya Matsuri.
What a love story. Like he's the one that ended up appointing her. He's the one that always believed in her. And he was like the leader, right, of this like army in the Genpei War. And he trusted her to lead with him. And then she was like one of the last ones standing with him. She saw him die. And then she cut off his head so that he wasn't dishonored and laid him to rest in the sea. And then disappeared. It's so sad, but also so beautiful. And And like it's so crazy. I didn't even know. So there's some versions that say that she was his wife. There's other versions that don't say that she was his wife. But I think their love was undeniable. She died when she was 90. She died so much later than he did. She was the one to carry his memory. It's just so like, it's like confirming things that I felt in like in my own life. I don't know if this is gonna happen in this life, but it feels like something that I'm familiar with. I think I'm familiar with losing the love of my life and carrying on with his memory and honoring him. Anyways, now the video's over. It's so crazy. I literally said that whole story, right? About how her romance probably died and that's why she ended up ending it. Like, again, when you just talk about your past lives, like, you remember. So, anyways, look. It's a statue of Tomo. Stands guard next to Kaiso Yoshinaka. Like, that's just crazy. Like, she's the one that's like standing guard in front of him. That's just very interesting. I resonate with that so hard. She's keeping him safe. But yeah, anyways, okay. Now bye. I love you. Thank you for watching.